You're watching Money9 and on this Money Monk, we're being joined by Rajani Sinha, CEO, Chief Economist of CareEdge. Ma'am, talking about the economy, first off, personal finance survey which Money9 has done, there has been a inflation of sorts right from the COVID and even before that. Although there has been a drop in the inflation level, but in the rural part as such compared to the urban cities, don't you think the inflation is still being felt there, and how do you think they would come out of it, the rural sector as such, the rural parts of India?
So yes, inflation is a big cause of concern. In fact, the last 2 months inflation data point that it came higher than RBI's upper bound, and that has been a cause of concern. And like you highlighted, in fact, rural inflation is even higher than urban inflation at more than 6%. So that is definitely concerning, and more so the fact that a large part of the inflation that we have currently is because of food inflation. So food inflation is currently contributing around 45% to overall CPI inflation. And it's the rural population that will get quite severely hit by high food inflation. But having said that, what we are expecting is that the Rabi harvest is likely to be good from the advanced estimate that we have got so far. So we are expecting that things are likely to improve. In terms of rural demand, we are already seeing some improvement, some signs of improvement. Even the FMCG companies have said that in the third quarter they have seen demand picking up. So we are hopeful with good monsoon, normal monsoon next year and good Rabi harvest. There is going to be moderation in food inflation, and that should give a boost to rural demand.
Right. So we spoke about the rural part. Now talking about jumping to the tech part of it. We've seen during COVID as well and post-COVID, due to inflation, we're sort of in a cyclical slowdown, consumption slowdown right now in that phase. So don't you think these major layoffs that are happening right now in the corporate world, is this slowdown going to continue, and how far and how long do you think it's going to continue?
So specifically if I talk about the tech sector was going through a boom phase during the pandemic, and they had hired a lot of people in that phase because suddenly there was this whole demand generated because of COVID situation, and now with things normalizing, the demand is no more there. So we have seen a lot of layoffs happening. But otherwise, if you see, apart from this additional workforce that they have kind of taken on during pandemic, which they are getting rid of now, but otherwise if you see in the economy overall, if I leave aside tech sector, we are expecting growth to moderate a little. So we are expecting growth of around 6% or so in FY24, which I would say is not bad given the whole situation in which we are currently, global and domestic situation. And there are a lot of sectors in which we are expecting a pickup in demand for workforce, and they would be sectors like tourism, hospitality, contact intensive service sector, which is seeing a lot of pent up demand. And then this whole infrastructure push that the government is talking about, that should also help in absorbing a lot of labor force.
Right. And RBI has recently come out with a lot of major, repeated repo rate changes. So how far do you think this will continue? Is it going to be a cyclical process, and it's going to be a?
This is a very difficult question at this point in time. Till a month back, we were expecting that 6.5% would be the terminal repo rate, and we were expecting RBI to stop. But if you see the last RBI meeting, they had kind of kept the window open to hike further if need be. And then the two inflation data that has come higher than expected. So that has increased the whole expectation of RBI hiking by another 25 basis point. But at the same time, with what is happening globally, especially in the US economy, with the SVB fallout and the whole expectations around what US Fed will do, it's difficult to say. But I wouldn't rule out the possibility of one more 25 basis point hike in the April meeting. But it should stop at that.
Thank you so much for your insights. That was Rajani Sinha joining us on Money Monk. Stay tuned and keep watching Money9.